Good morning, guys. Last night was crazy. That was insane, dramatic, and I don't know what else to say about last night. One of the craziest nights ever. And yeah, kind of just feeling grateful. So we got in last night. The storm continued the entire night, all night. It just crushed down rain and wind and hail, thunder and lightning. But I was definitely out for the worst of it. But yeah, feeling okay this morning. Kind of feeling silly that I went out and shot last night instead of this morning with this beautiful weather and light. But that happens sometimes. Sometimes you get stuck in a hailstorm. And yeah, we're gonna have some breakfast and then we're gonna hit the road. Recharged with some breakfast and it's time to hit the road. We've made a decision that might not be the smartest decision, but it's a decision that we're gonna drive the long way to Nelspruit via Sani Pass, which is it's a pass and it's supposed to be pretty gnarly. And I've been wanting to do this pass for ages, but I've never had a four-wheel drive, which is a requirement to do it. So yeah, that's what's going down. The weather has been amazing the whole way. We've seen the mountains, we've seen some of the most incredible views in the world, and then literally 100 meters before the border we walked or drove into this. It is crazy. This is the border of Lesotho in South Africa. There's sheep here, there's crazy weather. It looks like it's starting to break up, but we're gonna check out Lesotho and then we're driving down Sani Pass. Probably won't be able to see anything based on the weather, but it's gonna be an adventure. That was crazy. This road was unbelievable and sketchy and rough, and the adrenaline is just pumping right now, and it was so much fun cruising down that road. It's 8 kilometers from the Lesotho border to the South African border outpost right here. We're now back in South Africa. We're at the base of the Drakensbergs, which are covered in those clouds that we drove through. I wish we could have seen stuff cruising through the mountains, obviously, and down the pass, but we couldn't see our hands in front of our faces because of the cloud. Now, as we're down at the base of the Drakensbergs, we're seeing this beautiful landscape, one of my favorite places on planet Earth. Just so special to make it down here. And we did the long way. We now have, like, I don't know, probably like a solid 7 hours to Nelspruit or something like that, but that was totally worth it. Okay, it's okay. I called this video It's Okay, and we made a really long drive yesterday. That's why it's now tomorrow. It was 8 hours driving from the bottom of Sani Pass to here, so a total of like 12 hours yesterday, which is crazy, and I was exhausted when I got in. That's why I'm filming tomorrow. It's okay. The reason I called this video It's Okay is because it's November. It's Movember, the month that men shave their faces to make themselves look a little bit like perverts. And I have not done that because I look like a pervert when I have the mustache shaved out. So that's not happening, but I do want to talk about Movember. I want to talk about the fact that it's okay to show emotion, and you might hear by my cracking voice that I'm a bit emotional. Part of Movember is talking about men's health and men's mental health, men's suicide, men's health prevention, stuff like this. Anxiety, depression, all these really important things that I don't think we talk about as men. I think so often as men we're taught from like a really young age to man up, to grow up, be a man, have the balls to do this, be tough, be a man, be a man, be a man. You just hear it over and over again as you grow up. Be a man up, be a man. And I think as men, it gets to us. It gets to the point that we can't talk about anxiety, we can't talk about depression, we can't talk about our fears, we can't talk about the things that scare us, we can't cry. And it's hard. Because sometimes you just need to. Now, 4 years ago, I started dealing with anxiety. I didn't know what it was at the time. It started really around when I had malaria for the 3rd time. And I actually just thought I was sick. I didn't know what it was. There was a point in Europe and Mongolia that I slept sitting up for like 3 months straight because I was convinced I had something stuck in my throat. And it was just anxiety telling me I was dying or there was something wrong with me. And I fought with this anxiety for months, not knowing what it was. I had an issue at a theater in Switzerland where I ended up going to the emergency room. Didn't know what was wrong with me. I thought I was having a heart attack. They found irregular heartbeat, but they told me they didn't know what it was. They said I was totally fine. They were telling me, everybody was telling me I was fine, and you're fine, you're fine, you're fine. But I didn't feel fine. And this carried on for another couple months. Eventually I went to a doctor in Canada who was a friend of the family. And he told me, you have anxiety. All these symptoms you're having, they're anxiety. And I just couldn't believe it because I was living this life, this happy life, and everything was happy. But I didn't realize that anxiety was something deeper. And that anxiety was probably because I was so happy, I was feeling anxious, I didn't want it to end. And I was worried that somebody was going to take away my life or something was going to take away this really happy life I was having. And I think that when I had the malaria for the 3rd time there in Africa, I think it was maybe the first time I really had to think about my mortality. It was the first time I thought about, you know, dying is a real possibility. And of course, my whole life I knew it's possible that you can die. I knew that was a possibility. I knew that was something real. But I think that was the first time I really, really just knew that dying is something that's totally possible. And sorry about the buzzing noise, they're doing construction back there. But it was that time that the doctor basically told me, he said, you either need to go to a therapist or you just need to beat this yourself. You need to convince yourself every time that you feel sick or ill or weak that it's just the anxiety talking and you can beat it that way. And I did, and I really did. And for you know, for the past 3 years I've been really, really good. And every time I start to feel a little stressed or my throat feels a little weak or whatever, I just remind myself it's my anxiety and it gets better. But it's still something I battle with, and I think it's still something that I need to talk about and people need to talk about. And I can't sit here and tell you guys, you know, it's Movember, it's Men's Health Month, it's a month that you go get help if you need it, talk to somebody if you need it. I can't sit here and tell you to do that if I don't talk about my own issues and if I don't talk about that side of things with you guys and be real with you guys about that, because I feel like everybody needs a role model, and I think that a role model is more than somebody that tells you to man up. A role model is somebody that tells you to be real, so I'm trying to be real. And this week has been hard for me because last week I lost a friend, and nobody deserves to leave this earth early, but especially not this person. This person was the most caring, positive, open person ever, just the most wonderful human being, and it was just heartbreaking, and it's kind of brought up the anxiety again. Yeah, it's brought up the anxiety again for sure. And then going out in the storm the other day with the lightning and everything, that was, it was probably hard for you guys to see on the video what it was like, because I couldn't film it because there was lightning going off everywhere and I was being hammered by hail and I can't film that. But it was intense. It was intense, dramatic, scary, and it was just rough. And then on top of it, being cold and borderline hypothermic, getting back to the hotel, I just got in the shower, threw on hot water, and I just sat there in the hot water for like 20 minutes. And yeah, it's been a hard week. But I'm strong. I know I'm strong, and part of that strength is talking to you guys And yeah, so I appreciate you guys for being there. Even if you don't realize you're there for me, I hope that this channel can be there for you when you need it. I'm really, really thankful to have the people in my life that I do. Jody's incredible. Obviously, having Jody around, it just makes everything better. So I'm really, really thankful to have people like her in my life and people like you in my life. And I'm just so thankful for this life, and I think that's part of my anxiety. As stupid as that sounds, I think that I'm so happy with my life. I'm so happy in my life. I'm just so happy that I don't want it to stop. And as crazy as that is, that brings up anxiety. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I want to say thank you to everybody, and I love you guys. Even if you guys don't know it, I love you guys. You guys are the best people I could ever have in my life. Even if you're scattered all over in the world, even if I've never got the chance to meet you, thank you. And yeah, that's it for this video. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling anxious, talk to somebody, get help. If you don't know who to talk to, find the local suicide helpline. Talk to somebody, anybody, just talk to somebody, please. That's my plea to you guys at the end of this video. As for this channel, we're heading into Kruger National Park, well, today, so that's where the next episode's coming from. I'll see you there. Peace.